Ayo, welcome to Benchwarmers, a WOSO podcast, episode 41, part 2. Part 2, you've just come from part 1 where we spoke everything WSL team of the season. Yes, Leggy doesn't like sixes and I don't like wingers and we both hate United and
Chelsea.
and Chelsea, yeah. So, I mean, know that Chelsea fans, you get the love from me, and know that United fans, you'll get the love from Leggy in ways that we cannot give it, vice versa. But that is all. I mean, if you want to hear anything WSL team of the season, we do the full roundup there. But now we are going to be talking contracts, extensions, rumours, and retirements. This was an absolute I mean, this is what happens. The football ends and then the CERRs go absolutely bonkers. I mean, we can start, we can kind of do this quick fire in a way if we've already spoken about them before, but we're going to start with some of the big options, some of the big moments. I mean, the big one, I mean, I feel like I have to give it to my podcast partner right now. It is arguably the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the greatest of Austria's time, that's what the A in GOAT stands for. It's Manuela Zinsberger. I don't think I've ever called her by her full government name ever, but Friesberger, the Zins, Spilsberger, I mean,
all
Manu, E-Man, all the everything that she is and everything that she was is now yours forever. No, she's now left. She's gone. She's gone to Borussia Dortmund, which is crazy. I mean, that is nuts. But I kind of want a kid, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. No, seriously. I gave up on the opportunity to get a Zinsberger kit for the amount of years that she played at Arsenal, despite me still wanting one. Anyone want to send me a Zinsberger kit? Manu, you want to send me one yourself?
Please. We love you so much. Also, I'm
much.
Austrian. I'm Austrian.
Yeah.
I'm from one Austrian
to
another.
Austria is on a map.
I am Austrian. Just send me a jersey, and then it'll make Leggy really sad. So you give me the Austria keeper kit, and then Leggy the Arsenal one. I think that's how it should work. Yeah.
But the Zins move, I mean, this is exceptional from two perspectives. One, for the player gets to play on, and I think that's so important. You're dealing with a player in the latter stages of her career, still having the opportunity to play football, and she's spoken about it. I don't know if you follow her on her socials, but she's spoken about how family is such a core tenet to how she wants to move forward professionally as a footballer, and I think it's important to respect that from such a legend and someone who's really done the hard yards in the top league in the world and top leagues in the world. But this is a massive move for Dortmund. I mean, they've already picked up Alex Popp. I would be incredibly surprised if anybody comes up against Dortmund in the third tier of German football and doesn't just completely faint or wet their pants when they're like 19 and on semi-professional contracts.
Or both.
And they're on like semi-professional contracts and they're like, I actually need like a pay rise, but for this particular 90 minutes.
Just imagine how many shirts they're taking off and like all the photos that they're doing. It's like a PR fun day.
I would take a shin pad. I think we should. You know what they should do? Like some sort of hat picking. Like, you know, pick short straw something before the game, and someone gets the shirt, someone gets a shin pad, someone gets a boot. I think that's fair. I mean, they're
Alex
on like 12
Popp,
quid a year. Like,
give me your boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just people holding, just the players that they're playing against holding up signs, being like, Alex Popp, please don't do this to us.
It's crazy. I mean, this is incredible for German football. I have spoken about, and this comment will haunt me, but I still believe in it, that players should go and shouldn't be saviors for other clubs. I don't think that this is the case here. I think that this is, for Alex Popp, a real project for her, and I think that that's so fair for a player going back.
There's probably
to
a management aspect to it as well.
Yes, and it's obviously the club she supported as a child. And for Manu, I think for me personally, seeing Spills go from our number one keeper to quite lambasted within the Arsenal community and the fandom to being behind two keepers at one stage, I just wanted to have the next 3 years of her time
Golden
as a keeper,
Glove
as a
in the Frauenbund. It is coming. 2030, Vision 2030.
She gets the extension for 1 year after a 29 contract.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's important for her to go out respected and as a mentor probably for this generation of Dortmund players that are aspiring to do well in the Frauen and do with the hard yards going through the whole pyramid in Germany.
100%. And I mean, if we see something happen, if she saves a penalty, if she has a game and a half, I mean, we're more likely to see Alex Pop scoring 7 than we are to see Spielsberger player of the match for Eldor. Wait, you want Zinsberger to score a goal?
I want like a late last minute. She is the type. Like she will have a stinker and then and score a header in the last minute.
She is generational PR, so we'll see that. We will be there, but I mean, we will follow Zins so long as Zins is in the Zins, guys. But yes, she is. Will always be a part of Arsenal folklore as well. For that, same as Beth Mead, who has just left to mine. I mean, we did speak about it last week. I don't think I gave it the due diligence in the sense of that. Like, I understand it. I don't necessarily dislike it. I do think it is a relatively sideways move. It's not really an upwards move for us. It's not really an upwards move for her. It's just a sideways move that is largely tethered to the proximity of Viv Miedema, I think, and the ability to play her best football in a team that is also trying to get rid of that era of your team as well. I think that there is part of that which is important, and there is part of the fact that we will benefit from Beth Mead, regardless of what I think about it. She will do things. She will score goals. She will get assists. She will continue to be Beth Mead, MBE, masterful footballer in terms of her creative aspects, her dead ball. I mean, no, the streets won't forget 22, all that stuff. And I think she will be important in Champions League games when we come up against Twente and Leuven, and even coming on and having moments against top sides, because everyone, regardless of how old she will be and what she does, people will be afraid of Beth Mead. That is part of the fear factor of a player like her. I don't say it in a begrudging way about the Miedema stuff as well. I say it in a way that's conducive for her to probably have her best football as well. That will also come into play, that then that they will be in a happier space, a happier environment for both of them to play their best football, potentially together on the same pitch at sometimes. And I'm excited for that. And I mean, I don't have to now cut half an Arsenal shirt and half a City shirt and put Miedema together. Now I can just have Mead and Miedema. That's okay. That's a good thing to have. But I do feel bad for Laura Coombs. That number didn't last very long. And that 7 got draped off you so quickly. The you retired, and they were like,
Steph
wow.
Horton, to be fair. You could have retired number 5, but you quickly gave it to. It was just like that. But
no, but AG's different. AG owns the 5 in a way that's
6
that
for
makes
Steph
sense.
Horton,
Yeah,
5.
yeah,
but
Steph Horton.
I think it's important to mention that City are gaining a player and Arsenal are losing one. I mean, Beth Mead has been an incredible force for creativity on that flank for Arsenal. So underrated, so much so that I didn't believe that she was going to have a great season.
Do you really think underrated?
100% underrated.
Really? That's so interesting.
I don't think you understand. Arsenal fans going into this season washed completely out of her depth.
Oh, no, I agree. Arsenal fans
and I think
underrate
outside
her.
of that as well. I think outside of that, because if you take what happened in the Euros, it was not a good Euros for Beth Mead.
It wasn't.
She was recognised as a player who was detrimental for that right-hand side.
Do you think she's seen as a legacy baller?
And yes, I think it's a legacy baller.
It's all behind her.
I think there's a bit of an anachronistic ball about her. I think people still think that she's hindered by that ACL, or that she plays a football that is now beyond.
Well, she is playing different football. It is different, but it's not bad.
The connections that she finds on the pitch, and the way that she finds them so quickly, and how the creativity and the force in which she can create so much down that right-hand side is very underrated. And we saw it this season. We lost her, and we dropped her, and we did all these things, and we could never make up for her. And I think that is to prove, and I think that it will go to show that Arsenal will miss Beth Mead, and City will gain Beth Mead, and City will gain another creative force similar to the likes of Lauren Hampton.
That was so Michael Owen. I love that. Arsenal will lose Beth Mead, and City will gain Beth Mead. It's yes, Leggy, we will gain Beth Mead. No, but I think the part that's kind of scary for the rest of the league is that everyone talks about Mead's weight of pass and her ability to cross the ball, and she's got how many 60, 70 assists in the WSL, the most
The most assists.
like clear, masterfully clear, right? And she's crossing to Russo and Blackstenius, and that's great. But I would say Blackstenius's clinicalness with her head isn't necessarily the best. I would say
Marnham?
Russo's.
I mean,
I would say
horrendous with her head.
Marnham's is solid. Marnham's
Marnham's
is
is
solid
not
as well.
solid.
No. Like solid for an average WSL player, but not like fantastic. I would say Russo scores a lot of headers, but also her best is volleys and of the like and keeping the ball on the ground. Imagine her way to pass when she's crossing back to Miedemar again. She's crossing to Bunny Shaw, arguably the greatest aerial threat that the WSL has ever seen. I don't think it's even arguably. She is the greatest WSL threat she's ever seen. No one is close to her in headed goals. And as we've said before, I mean, we can talk about Miedemar and Bunny being the new like Bergkamp and Thierry Henry and the new partnership. Mead and Miedemar are the most are that they are Bergkamp and they are that creative outlet. They are the Son and Kane. They are the iconic duo. They have the most goal contributions combined with each other of any player in any realm of and any decade of the WSL, and it's happening again. So teams have to be afraid of that, and I think that is important and why Beth Mead will still be important. It's just a decision that like is different. It's different to the decisions we made last year that made us what we are now, and I think I'm just got to get used to that. Exactly. But it's also like not. It's not in the same. It's now we're trying to make a new brand for ourselves, and that's why I mean we spoke about this off camera when we were talking about like Niamh Charles and the decisions made there, and I think like it's stuff where I like when you tether to one style and one identity, and I get you have to evolve. You do have to get better footballers, and there will be a time where if let's say if we won the league next year, let's say we retained it for the first time in our history, then we'd start looking at Manchester City as a different thing, because I think Arsenal fans and Chelsea fans still look at us like Lil Bro. We are still Lil Bro in that way. Like, yes, we are double winners, but we aren't European threats. We aren't like we now with Europe. We aren't the favourites for the WSL the same way, because we have more football to handle, and that like we are like small time compared to Arsenal and Chelsea. That is seen as us. But if we retain it, then you start looking at us like, oh, okay, so they can do it again. Oh, they can build a dynasty. And yes, players like Mead help that, and players like Charles help that depth, and I understand that. I just think that we're trying to rush to that picture of retaining again, and I understand that that's football. That's the football model, is that you just have to get better, and for Jeglerts to like, I hope that if Jeglerts has a tough start to next season and it doesn't go all to plan, we don't just turn on him and we don't just go, oh, the model doesn't work and we screwed up. Like, you have to remember what coaches do for you. And we're in this new realm of football where we expect instant gratification and better and progression. It's like, what, is next year the domestic treble? Is next year a UCL semi-final? It's not fair. It's not fair when it's going to be harder. It's going to be much harder.
Fair because you can't start reinventing the wheel. And that's the thing with City. Like, you need to be basing your future success off the model that has succeeded for the last decade. And that model is bringing in experienced players like the lack of Niamh Charles and Beth Mead. And I understand that you want this career mode football manager experience where you can bring in the likes of Iman Bene and build them and create this.
But also Kanak. But like I'm talking about Kanak as well. I'm talking about Coffee isn't like Coffee is top level. She is top class. She doesn't have European minutes. We don't know. We know she's going to be good.
Central midfielders in the world, and that's why.
No. I understand. I understand that. And that there's a reason we signed her for a lot of money. But she has 0 minutes in Europe. 0 minutes in Europe, and the idea that we're this, like, there is a different level. There is where people are going to see us as the same level as Bayern Munich. People are going to see us,
and that's
as
fair. That's not a crazy statement.
In my opinion, maybe I'm small timing my own team, but I expect us to give it a red hot go at their home ground, and I expect us to be the favourites at our own home ground. But if we get beaten by teams that have leaps and bounds, triple, quadruple, tenfold the Champions League experience than us, there needs to be context in that, and that's where I think fans get really fickle and they go, wow, we spent all this money and we lost 4-1 at the Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich, and it's like, yes, okay, it's a disappointing performance, but let's also think about where the maturity lies. Where does the room for improvement come from? Where do we get better? And how do we get better? We get more minutes in the Champions League. It isn't just like the window is open. Don't get me wrong. The window is open to do the best things that City has ever done. But there is no way I'm going into the season thinking Champions League, Premier League double. Like it's just not fair
I just don't
on the
understand
players.
why. I think that if you win the WSL, easily the best league in the world with the greatest competition, with the standard being so high, in comparison to the Bayerns and the Lyons even, who play in leagues that truly undermine what they can do because they don't have that same level constantly every week. You did
That's
it in the
true.
WSL
I do agree with that.
in a way that
Yeah.
was not only conducive to European
It was
success,
dominant. It was
but
dominant,
It was completely dominant. And I think that
Yeah.
you need to aspire for greatness because you will fall into the same traps of the City
Oh,
teams
and
of the last 10
I
years.
know that I'm not the same as Yeglerts. Yeglerts is going.
I think
Yeglerts
the
is a
institution
European
has to.
champion. Yeglerts is a European champion. He's going to want to win
Yes.
whatever he can. They are like you, Leggy. They are quadruple merchants. I'm just more worried about the capacities of a manager who is going to say all that and say we're going to win what we're going to try and win, and we're going to be the next Umeå IK in that way,
I
right?
think you
Like
just have to
Umeå
trust the
IK didn't come
system.
out of nowhere, and we will trust the process, and I will be there when I'm shilling my team all the way. It's just when things don't go the exact same as they did last year, and it's
No
not
one
just
is going
fairy
to
tales
complain.
and that.
I don't think anyone's going to
I'm
complain.
telling you now that football fans are as fickle as it gets, and
But that's
it's
football fans.
really
I don't think
frustrating.
that's
It's really
gonna affect
frustrating.
the internal system and the internal workings of the football club. I don't think Andre Yeglert is looking at TikTok.
Oh
or
no, he
Twitter
doesn't
and
care.
like,
No,
oh
he
my
doesn't
God,
care.
Like we've lost a game.
No.
in Europe
But
against
it's not about.
Twente.
But it's not about him. It's not about him. It's about football clubs that make decisions on like if we don't make Champions League next year at all, there would 100% be people, not just
You stuck
fans,
with
but people who
Gazball
go,
for so
you know
long.
what,
Your
like
team does not switch
you
that
know what,
often.
he didn't keep us in Europe.
You stuck
Bye.
with Gazball
Goodbye.
for too long, and I think that it's actually a very positive thing that your club sticks with managers. You're not continuously regenerating or continuously going through managers like lollipop. Like this is not like we'll suck and dry and then leave
I
it.
understand that. I just think that there is always a potential post a season like we just had. Specifically, look at Bompasta. Bompasta, the things she's
that's
gone
Chelsea.
through in the
That's
last
so
season.
different. That's
I
Chelsea.
mean,
And
I
you're
know
so
it's different.
different to
I know
Chelsea.
it's
You're so
different,
different to
but they like Sonia is on the in my opinion.
She's on the, but for
he's
good
on,
reason.
He's on the
because
chopping block.
Chelsea
He's on the chopping
have won
block because of
have
the
won 6,
expectations of a
7,
club
8
that won
champions.
everything.
They won
Yes.
6, 7, 8 championships. Like
Yeah.
that's Chelsea. That is the stupidity of Chelsea in being too short-sighted to recognize that they have a manager.
But I hope
that if you gave the tools,
our management, our board
they
gives
will. I'm
Yeglerts the
100%.
time
It's the
to
Arsenal
develop
model.
that.
It's definitely
Yeah.
the Arsenal model. You stick with
Yeah.
the coach, even if they become like Jonas Eidevall, which I don't think that
Yeah.
your Swedish gaffer is going to become.
No,
like Jonas Eidevall.
I mean, it is in the nationality. It is
True.
there. It is
Tony
for
G.
every Yeglerts there is a Yeglerval. But look, I love that we tethered that from MVE Mead. But I hope Mead. You know what? I hope Mead wins us the Champions League the way she
100%
won
think she
Arsenal
gets
the
10
Champions
GA.
League.
100%
Yeah.
think she gets 10 GA next season.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, Marla Gross is not getting 10 GA for Leon as a goalkeeper, but this is weird because they have three goalkeepers. Enla hasn't left yet. Micah is still there, and Belhaj is still a baller in my opinion. So I don't know where Marla Gross fits in that order. I feel like
think she
she's
fits-
second. Is that
No,
the
I
argument?
think she fits ahead of Endler, and I think that
Wow,
this
you
is-
think she starts?
I think she starts, and I think Endler. I think specifically with her European performances.
But Marla Gross
There has
didn't
been-
start for. Didn't she
There
didn't
is a
start
reckoning.
for Bayern.
There is a reckoning happening at Lyon, and it's specifically to do with their European performances. I think that they've focused too heavily on what they have to fix domestically, which has basically been nothing for the last 10 to 15 years, and they haven't fixed the obvious problems in Europe, and those problems come particularly down the spine and particularly in big game moments. And I think Endler was one of those big game moment failties, and I think replacing her with someone so experienced like Rose, so willing to fit that position in a way that elevates your goalkeeping position. She's good with her feet. She's good in the air. she is a better, more advanced goalkeeper, more traditionally contemporary goalkeeper than Endler.
True.
Endler's on the end. Endler's going to go. This
is the
starting
Endler
of the movement. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. This is the starting of the adios movement of that spine. We let go of Heap. Sorry, we let go of Renard. Next is Ada. Next is Endler.
We haven't let go of Renard just yet.
They're going.
No,
they are going though.
Yeah.
This system is
No. I
moving
agree.
out.
I agree that Endler and Heaps are going. I understand that. I still am shocked by the fact that you think Maria Gross is going to be the starting goalkeeper, considering she wasn't even the.
I thought that Tegan Michael was going to be the starting goalkeeper for Lyon.
Yeah, but Tegan Michael was until she got injured. Yeah. She was the starting goalkeeper until she got injured, and Belhaj did keep a lot. But also, I mean, they will have 4 goalkeepers now. Are they really going for the quadruple? And they've decided this one is for this league. This one is for exactly. And maybe that's what Kang is doing. She's just
Lyon.
making 4 11s to win each comp.
It's very Emma Hayes. Emma Hayes did this. She had 4 goalkeepers. 5 goalkeepers at one stage.
It is crazy, but I mean, she is a good goalkeeper. She's a good. I mean, haven't seen a lot of her this year, but I think we'll get reminded this season of why that Kang decided that she was a definite sure thing to end up Kang-pilled at the Lions. We had Viens. Viens has departed. I mean, who is a team in the world who would benefit from the finishing, the ability, the clinical nature of Viens? It's a team that, I mean, how are we getting closer to PSG, Paris FC? Why are you going? What did you see? How much Benchwarmers a WOSO podcast do we have to talk about you that you can't watch us and know the statistical decimation of a footballer that we highlighted with Viens Vidi Vici? I don't know what this is. I think it's it could, like, in my head, it is facilitator fodder for players like Mendy and players like Matteo to be the best versions of themselves, Ocean Picard and the like. But I don't know. I find this relatively uninspiring for a team that's trying to match up to PSG and did match up to PSG this season.
I think that this is the influence of someone like Luchta really coming to the fore. I think that they're looking for a player that was potentially not utilised to the best of their ability in an Italian league and an Italian system. That, yes, I think that she was, the maker of her own demise in some sense, because Viens' statistics are matched with what we see on the pitch, which is very, very poor in front of goal and horribly executing what I would say are easy finishes for world-class strikers. But I think that Paris FC sees somebody there where they can mould a front line around, where they could start bringing in goals in ways that they haven't been able to before. I think that she is particularly good at facilitating. I think it's very underrated, Viens' ability in the box to facilitate those around her. I'm talking about those little flick-ons with her head, the little bringing of the down of the ball and passing it off. Those things are specific and I think will work incredibly well in a French footballing sense, because they are so big on long balls into the box, crosses into the box. Paris FC are trying to build this PSG model. I don't agree with it, but it has gotten PSG success. They can't obviously build the Lyon model. It's impossible. They don't have the funds to do it. So the next best thing is the PSG model and trying to tackle that duopoly in France.
Yeah, and you gotta hedge your bets. You gotta go after players that you think are going to be easier to acquire, but have the potential to grow and be the best version of themselves.
She's 26, 27, like she's not old.
Yeah, she's not excessively old, but she's not a child. She's a mature player. She's going to be a player. She's going to be a force in that respective league as well. It's a hard league to scrap up to in terms of like week in, week out, and specifically with Champions League, it'll be a harder thing to manage as well. But I don't know. There's something exciting about this as a concept for a player like Viens to make her mark and refresh herself in a different league and have the potential to finish higher up in the table. I mean, in like for Paris FC. Obviously, she's probably perpetually stuck to teams that are going to finish in third. But the game is the game. I
don't think Roma's missing anything as well. I should add. Like, I don't think this is a massive loss for Roma. If anything, if they can start snapping up the best players around them in Italy, they'll become more of a greater force in the Italian football sphere, and obviously translate that onto Europe as well.
Yeah, 100%. And we will move to the Real Madrid exodus. I mean, we already spoke about we already spoke about so many others. Misa, right? There's, I mean, now it's Yasmin and Fella and Abelera, which we have spoken about before as well, in the fact that she was going to go. But Rossio, that's the big one. Massive. Rossio is a huge. So without Misa and Rossio, this back line is just absolutely vanishing. It's absolutely crazy, and I mean, the fact that the only players that they've brought back, namely, are Bierenstein, who is maybe the most Real Madrid coded footballer that's 100%. Ever lived. There's not even much to say about that fact. It's just the only thing to say about that fact is that
standard. She just fits into the mold. There's no difference.
She looks beautiful in that Real Madrid kit as well. She looks.
In a very ugly Real Madrid kit, may I add? Not very nice.
No. I know the new one is horrendous, but the AI bits I saw of her in the new season, the current season kit, I was like, wow. She looks good in that white with the pins or the black stripes, and like we're on for a winner here eventually when Real Madrid get their act together in their kit game, because I mean nothing's been the same since 2011-12 if you ask me. But get her in a long sleeve 2011-12 and maybe we'll talk. But Andrea Jacinto is a good signing though. I think that is a good signing. That is a fun signing. That is bringing a Portuguese player to Real Madrid is always a fun signing.
They're just trying to do Kika, and it's
no,
so
but
obvious.
No. She's different. She's not Kika. She's not. She's deeper, and she doesn't play. She plays the holding metronomic role for a player like Paula Fernandez, and was a part of this legendary Sociedad side that I will speak about until I die, because that's what I mean. Until Sociedad get a better team, which I mean, I don't know if that's the future of the Sociedad project without Jacinto. But I mean, this is a Jacinto that plays for club and country. She plays for Portugal, next to Kika. She was a part. I mean, not particularly important part of this respective game, but did play over 70 minutes in the game against the USA where they beat them 2-1. Yeah. This is one of those players who has a very bright spark, has the ability to switch and get into pockets of space where she isn't going to get pressed that same way. But again, when you're coming up against Barcelona, it is a different press. It is a different midfield. But knowing that you have played against the best of the best and handled and weathered said storms will help you in any way. But I hope Real Madrid do have a way to manage that midfield, whether it's Dorado and her at the base, and then whoever they choose to replace Weir with, if that's even possible. Well, that's the thing.
With the Weir thing, they've brought in two players. They probably need another one to replace her. Sens is obviously the other move as well. Like, this is actively trying to fill the hole that is Weir by not one player, because it's impossible to do it with just one player. They're trying to bank that midfield, kind of avoiding that defensive hole, specifically in those two centre-back positions. I think Frooms can only do so much. She can only let out so many goals. I mean, once you go past that centered defensive midfield hole in the middle, then you're open to all possibilities in front of goal, because there's no centre-back quality there for Real Madrid. And I think that's the biggest problem for them right now. How are they going to replace Rossio, who is being statistically one of the best centre-backs, not even just in Spain, but in Europe?
I don't know that answer to that question. And Anderson is great, but Anderson is great next to Rossio. It's Navarro and, I mean, whoever they managed to siphon up at left back, who they were linked to Niamh Charles, and that would have made way more sense than City in my head. But they need to find an answer to that left back. If it's Francis Caquet, that is a great answer to that problem, and then we can talk about who they get as that centre back. But they have a lot of money. Perez has a lot of money. I mean, if he's not spending all his money on Ruben Diaz and whoever the centre back that they're polling on 4-3-3, Schlotterbeck is the one that they're going after now. But I mean, they're spending all their money on free transfers and wages for the men, so it's not like they can pucker up a tiny bit of chump change to put into a centre half that they actually need. But a centre half that they will not go after is Leggy's goat, Laya Kadena. The Holy Trinity is dying. It is dying. So it is just Emily Fox and Stenius now. So Zins is gone. Kadena has gone to West Ham United. Guarino ball for Kadena. Leia Kuadino, am I right? But do you see her starting? Is she just a vibes pick? What is this future?
I think she starts, and I think, praise be West Ham. I mean, this is a team that just goes after the most random players and all of a sudden you have an 11 that is picked from the likes of Norway, Spain, USA, wherever.
WOSO Fulham
France,
to the Menso
it's incredible.
Fulham.
WOSO
West Ham to Menso Fulham.
Yes,
it's
the
Arsenal
most
rejects.
2000s, it's incredible. Laya Kadena, yes, okay, she's gone from Barcelona to Arsenal to West Ham. She's gone from the best team in the world to a relegation battle. That's not the greatest pathway for a late stage 20-year-old.
Who's the best team in the world? Is it Arsenal or is it Barcelona?
It is Arsenal, closely followed by Barcelona. But but Laya Kadena, I think, is a player that is basically unfortunately been a victim of circumstance. For a long time, she's a Jonas signing for one. So you already have the marker of being a Jonas signing and a late stage Jonas signing, and I think quite a rash Jonas signing. I remember when she first signed for us, she'd scored.
It's terminal Kadena.
But I remember when she first signed for us, it was, I believe, only weeks after she'd scored. She'd obviously won the World Cup, but she scored the own goal as her first goal for her country, and then scored her actual first goal. And I remember somebody coming up to me and going, "How big is this move? Is she going to be a different pick?" And I was like, look, she has it in her a goal, but she also has it in her an own goal. So that's basically the moniker of Laya Kadena. And I think we've moved past Laya Kadena. I think she's probably a lift for West Ham, a West Ham team that concedes a lot of goals. But it's the
not
Spanish...
less with Guarino. They are. I don't think she starts. I don't think she starts.
I think she starts. I really do think she starts. But I think she starts, and this is not a crazy thing to say. I think that this has been coming. I think she starts higher up. I don't think that she starts in centre back.
Oh,
I think she starts
I like that.
Up.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense to me. If she started, if Katie Zellem.
Yeah, I love a double pivot of Katie Zellem and Kadena.
Zellem will have the pocket of space. The question is, does Una Siren not start after her pretty good performance? I don't know. I think she's been pretty solid this season. She's gotten more, and she's gotten most improved. I just think it's an interesting choice to pick a 35-year-old in the 6 over a 25-year-old in the 6. And it's not personal. It's not about ability. Yeah. But, I mean, the question would be Nystrom. I don't know if Nystrom is good enough. And then you could do Kadena and Cascarino, which I do like. That isn't, I mean, it's not the fastest. It's not
Tuva Hansen as well. Obviously, she got the injury. It's
exactly.
7,
so maybe by omission, maybe Kadena goes back to her centre half pocket and plays on that right side.
I think she'll like that.
Yeah, exactly. We're West London now, no longer northwest Kadena. Am I right? She's chilling with her. She's forever blowing bubbles in the air.
She'll love that.
Right?
Do you understand how crazy it'll be? Vamos Merchant.
Come on, you irons.
She's gonna love it. This is gonna be the most awesome thing ever.
But I mean, you know what is not the most awesome thing ever is me shilling Earps to Spurs last week and making a whole thing about Mary Spurps, but it is now Mary LCL, which we did. It was the rumor, it was common, it was just going to happen, but we did say, it probably might not happen because they have Lete and they just re-signed Lete and oh my God, they have Lete. Why would she go to a place where she won't be starting? That was the whole problem with England. That was the whole problem with everywhere else she wanted to go. And now I think we're going to run into a situation where you don't sign a player like Mary Earps unless you want them to start.
This is the difference between our two opinions about this.
Yeah, this would be insane. I mean, would she write another book about Lete? No,
I think she should write another book about her whole experience at LCL and do an expose and then come on the pod and then we can do a what would Kang do, and we actually found out what Kang did. This is incredible.
Oh my God. This is, Mary Earps is officially, not just canonically, officially Kang-pilled with her move to London City Lionesses. I just think there are so many decisions that go on at LCL that have nothing to do with meritocracy, Allegra. And like Mary Earps starting isn't about like ability. You know what I mean? Like it
No,
is
no,
like
it's- yeah.
fans, bums on seats.
Yeah.
The brass band and Mary Earps are the
And
holy
that's why I
trinity
think
of
she doesn't
Bromley.
start. And that's why I think she doesn't start. They have signed so many players for this exact reason. And do they start? No. And I think that that's the reckoning that we have as observers of LCL.
Leggy, I'm putting 10 toes down. We're gonna do like
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'm gonna do a kit wager with you, right? I'm gonna do a kit wager with you in the sense of like I will buy you a 26-27 Arsenal kit of your choice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Game one, LCL start Mary Earps.
No, okay,
yeah?
but that's the thing. I think that she starts in game 1, but as we go through the season, I do not think she starts.
You think it's like a D'Angelo situation?
It's
like,
not even a D'Angelo season.
She's bought to start, but then we realize why she
It's a
shouldn't
bit of
start.
that. It's a bit of that, but I also
Okay.
think it's she's bought to start. She might start the first couple games, and then she's easily phased out of the starting 11 because yes, she'll bring bums and seats, and that's fantastic. And she is, Merps, Mary Queen of Stops.
Okay, so we are in canonical agreement that like she will start the season.
But I don't think that she'll.
Yeah.
I do think Lete will be the number 1 LCL goalkeeper. I think Merps is there as more of an advisory role. I think she's there to help Lete and potentially.
Yeah, like she was with Hannah Hampton in the England squad,
Yep,
right?
exactly. And you know what? Maybe she's like, I actually love this role. Maybe like it sold me books. Like I might as well continue.
She unretires from England and goes, you know what? I have a chance to redeem myself.
Kiara
And
Keating.
yeah. Oh
I
my
have you,
god.
girl.
Yeah. Mary Earps to Manchester City next week. Then it's just like we have a third goalie.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I think okay, we are in canonical agreement. There are no kit wagers going on now, but but I thought that could have been a good 10 toes down situation where I think she will start, and I think you're right in saying that there is a better goalkeeper in the wings. But my question will be is that if Lete has been sold a dream and she doesn't, let's say Mary Earps starts the season well, it will be a tough decision for Maestra to make that call, to
And
chop
is
her
it
off.
his call? Again, is it his call?
And just know that you cutting her off is more than just cutting Mary Earps out of the team, because it is social media, it is PR. Like She's a Baller will talk about 433 Women, Soccer Donna will talk about the fact that Mary Earps has the first game she has where she's not starting, and it'll be panning to Mary Earps in the dugout because that's what they did in France.
Yeah.
They did it in France when she wasn't even playing, and like that's the importance of this situation, is that it's not just bringing Mary Earps the goalkeeper, it's bringing the Mary Earps show to Bromley, which, look, I think it's entertaining. For all the intensive purposes and what I think about Merps, United fan, I mean, I was chanting for Mary Earps in that World Cup final after the save. Like she has amazing moments. She has an amazing book that has so much aura around it. It's so good. But we're going to see more chapters. It's basically more chapters in my head. I'm excited for this particular chapter. But next is a very sad chapter in my life. I know we don't have NWSL Watch back just yet. But when it is back, we will be seeing an interesting player at Chicago. Chi-Town Hustle, am I right? Layla Ouhabi. I don't know what they did in Chicago to wheel you over, to get you from double winner, Layla Ouhabi, double winner, to Chicago Stars struggling nearly at the bottom of the NWSL.
I mean, this is a move that Chicago probably wished happened, didn't think it was going to happen. And then when Layla Ouhabi rocked up in the Chicago stadium, wherever it was, the meeting place, and was like, I'm here, guys, sign me. They were like, shit. Like, really? And it's because it's a shock. It is such a shock. You go from winning a double. You come from, by the way, the Barcelona system. Like, this is a player similar to like Cadena.
She's going to see different standards of
I
this
have
Stars
no idea.
Hustle.
I have no idea where this specific generation of Barcelona players, they either go on and the Mariona Caldentes of it all, or they go to the Chicago Stars and the West Hams. And I think the Chicago Stars will be loving this move. I think especially when not only have they had a terrible season, they've had a terrible few few seasons, and they will probably be losing Mallory Swanson by the end of it. I don't think that she'll be staying on. But defensively, they have been incredibly
that side, that Mallory Ouhabi will work well for this season.
Well, yes, but Mallory is adaptable on either side. I think that it would be
she can play both,
to play her on the left-hand side, so then you have a bit of that combination play. But
that's just US wingers. US wingers are taught to play both sides.
Agree. And I think that Ouhabi's not going to solve the problem. I do think it's just 2 centre halves. It's the spine.
If Ouhabi solves your problems, then we're in an interesting boat. Like, Ouhabi is the player you have as the luxury. Like, she is a good footballer, but Ouhabi had to be Ouhabi got replaced by a centre back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's harsh, but she got replaced by a centre back who wasn't a natural left back that was taught to play left back in order to facilitate for the fact that Ouhabi is a very technically gifted footballer, is a very good footballer at distribution and control, but is not very fast. She doesn't have the same ability to create that separation that she does in her prime, the prime Ouhabi, that Layla Alexandri Ouhabi combo that, I mean, had my La Masia Manchester citizen veins absolutely firing, that little Spanish trinket in our team. That hyperlink has now vanished, and I actually forgot. I forgot about Layla Alexandri. I'm excited for her to be back and playing football properly.
I think that there's always this saying when players go to the NWSL, they're going to be so suited to the NWSL. They're going to bring such class to the NWSL. I genuinely think, and I don't mean to be rude, this is the Olga to PSG move.
100% agree.
This is a move where I don't think the two styles of football will
By the way, but just for any listeners out there, me and Leggy did not write that Olga prep in there. We didn't write that in there. We just both knew that was the wavelength. We were both thinking the exact same thing right there, and that happens way too much. But but something that was not on the wavelengths this week in NWSL Magic is Ali Sentinel. Wildly, canonically, Ben loved. I mean, I love Ali Sentinel. I rate her very highly. I think her ceiling is, she's ultimately USA Gibiva Jones. In my opinion,
she's the Abby Wambach.
Or she's better. Yeah, maybe she's one better than her. Maybe she's one better than Beaver Jones. Also, because she can play in the 10. She can play deeper. She can play up front. She's been killing it at Kansas City, and Kansas City were probably the favourites for the whole thing. And now it's ruined all my NWSL watches in the past because the richest club in the world, Angel City, has decided we need saving. We need to be better, and they upped her for $850,000. Holy moly.
It's exceptional. And I think Ali Sentinel has done something that we would see as rare in the modern game, which is go to 3 clubs in about 12 months, but is actually just riding off the Jill Roord wave.
Baby. Jill Roord's school of never getting settled.
No. And I think that it's incredibly funny that she goes from Utah, a team that was incredibly poor last year and having an exceptional season this year, to Kansas, which was basically a bottom-up move where it was like you're literally going there to win a premiership in 6 months. Obviously, that didn't eventuate, and I don't think that she got the minutes that she wanted, mostly because she was behind some real superstars like Dudinya and Chewinga, right? But I think that this move to Angel City, yes, we can obviously talk about how Angel City are having a real shake-up in the administration and what they really want, and I think that it's becoming a bit of a problem that they are the richest club in the world and do not have the success to back that up and the trophies to back that up. I think Sentinel is that US women's national team move. This is the move where they go, this is a US player, a national team player who is going to be at the vanguard of this new project, starting from midway through this NWSL season to the end, hopefully getting into the top 8 and really trying to build from there. Ali Sentinel has she's such a prosperous player. I mean, I mentioned Ali Wambach before, mostly because I just see this fiery instinct in front of goal that I've seen from the likes of Abby Wambach, from the Alex Morgans. She's a very old school type of US women.
I mean, the fact that you're even putting her in the same sentence as two literal icons of WOSO is enough superlative as it is. Like she has the ability to. The fact that we're even saying she has the ability to be put in the list with them is the compliment in itself. And anyone who's watched any remnants of Ali Sentinel, I don't know how you couldn't see the potential for her to be one of the killers and also be the answer to an really important question for Emma Hayes, which is the fact that in 12 months, we're about to see what is widely considered the most successful international team, what is widely regarded as a top 3 team in the world right now in the US women's national team, go into this World Cup, and not any single US women's national team fan or rival fan can tell you who's going to be in the 9 for the US women's national team. And Ali Sentnor is my pick. She is my pick, and she is the one who should be that. Like, yes, Macario is excellent. Yes, there are other players. Sophia Wilson is excellent, but I think the Sentnor is one of those players that's too good to put on the bench. I think she will end up in the 10 or rotating with Smith. If Smith can't do the pressing that she needs to do, and Smith is now getting better at the hold-up play and the distribution game, then Emma Hayes' classic textbook 10 and 9 switch-up is going to be crucial in her ability to facilitate the right rotations so that the US Women's National Team can go back to what we are considering a new generation, a new era, but former glory.
And I think my criticism still stands of Angel City, and I mentioned this in the last NWSL watch. I do think that they are restricting themselves to real diversity in their squad. Although I think Ali Sentnor is a very, very important player for whatever the team she plays for. She scored in their last matchup, Angel City versus Kansas, and Angel City actually won that game. So I guess they won the bid for Ali Sentnor as well. But I think in terms of what type of striker she is, she obviously brings something different, slightly different to Riley Tiernan in terms of that maturity on the ball, obviously that ability to fall into the 10, but it's the fact that they play a 4-5-1.
That's not conducive to the Sentinel thing with Giselle, and it's not pleasant. Exactly. I wonder how that navigates itself, and
it would be really disappointing if she left Utah to go to Kansas, to go to Angel, and every project that she's left has done better things without her. I think it'd be really sad if she goes to now this Angel City project and it fails underneath her, not because of her, but because the foundations aren't there to support her.
And then Kansas continue to do their thing and keep going on their run, and then you go, oh, maybe Ali Sentnor wasn't part of that process and that she is replaceable, and then phases out of that.
She was there during that. She wasn't there like at the start of them becoming a powerhouse. No. She just happened to be a marquee signing for them during that powerhouse era.
But that's why. But that's even more of a compliment. Is that we wanted to bolster up. We wanted to get better, so we signed you, and you've decided to go somewhere else. Not that long after, and also are deciding that this project is more better fit for you, when the reality is that, I don't know, Kansas City are always going to be a favorite and Angel City are currently not. So there is regardless of what it means for your career, there is a trajectory on the ladder where I see Kansas City always perennially in and amongst it, so long as Temwa Chawinga is fit, firing and healthy, and you are playing alongside the best NWSL player in the league 2 seasons in a row, to now playing alongside different players that are decent, players that are like a top level in the sense of that they should be better than they are, and they should be gelling together, and maybe that is a management issue rather than a personnel issue, and Sentnor should be able to make those other players better. But I expect this move to be like a sticker, especially for the price. This can't be like a Jill Roord situation where it's 850 and she's gone in 2 years, because it's not worth it. And then she goes somewhere else and it's sideways. And we start looking at her as that same school, which is not good enough. But we are going to move into Rumours, basically. Rumours is the exciting stuff now. Sam Kerr becoming Batman, going to Gotham. Back to Gotham. I mean, going back to Batman. I mean, it's Batman Returns, not Batman Begins. I'm here for it. I'm so here for a Gotham move. I love Gotham. I like Sam Kerr. I hate Chelsea. I'm so all in on a Gotham Sam Kerr kit. I am so all in on Gotham doing it from 8th, and Jaden Shaw feeding my Australian GOAT into a level. I mean, look, it'll take time. The combination play with Sam Kerr is something to learn. It's not something that is just easily punched in, but look at the way she ended this season. Look at the way she ended this run for club and for country. She's proved a lot of people wrong, including myself, at that she has still got a lot of lemon to squeeze out of her career. And why not do it at a club that no matter where you finish in that top 8, if they're in and amongst it, they can do it.
Sam Kerr was always going to go to the NWSL. We've talked about what that move was going to be like.
But we were saying Denver.
We were saying Denver, and we were saying Denver for really like easy and quite attainable reasons. Like this wasn't a crazy shout.
Or Boston,
Her
like
partner,
anything to get closer to Jagger and Mewis, and that is part of it. But also, it's not the only part of it. And being a part of a good footballing project is also part of it, and being a part of a team that wants you is also part of it.
And we thought, okay, so Denver was going to basically give up, not give up, that's harsh, but like going to give in the first six months of this season, and then build from the heaps and Sam Kerr signing down that spine. And it was going to be, what these two marquee players were going to bring to a newly established side. And obviously that has potentially fallen through. Obviously we don't know if Sam Kerr's completely going to Gotham, but I mean, Sam Kerr and Gotham have a very interesting history. She spent, I believe, 4 seasons there. Her last season was incredible. So they were called the New Jersey Flash or whatever it was called back then. But,
Western Flash.
But it was, I believe, 22 games, 17 goals, 4 assists, right? Like this was exceptional number for a player who did exceptional things in the MWSL. I'm really interested to see what this means for the formation, because we know the likes of Jaden Shaw, Esther Gonzalez, potentially Sam Kerr. Now, this is an incredibly attacking heavy front line in Gotham.
And doesn't make sense in a lot of ways.
It doesn't really make sense, because I've always said this about Gotham. They are incredible going forward. Yes, they have those games where they could be shooting 30 times and not score, but I think with the likes of Sam Kerr, that'll be nullified or mitigated.
But it means you'll have less shots as well. It means you're trying to facilitate for that. But Esther and Sam is not a 2 up front in my head. I don't see it that way. It's not the most technically complimentary, I guess is the word I'm trying to say. And I don't mean that as an insult. I still think both of them are A-tier strikers. It's just not it's not Stina and Russo. It's not Mead and Bunny. It's not a combination play that I see working.
It's not Guro and Sam.
And don't get me wrong, what I do see working is Jaden Shaw behind her. What I do see working is a player like, I don't know, Dudley working off that that pack. Yeah. A player like Hal being able to have that midfield play and play from deep and find Sam and have Sam bounce balls back into that metronomic football. And that's what Sam is really good at, not just the killer instinct and the hold up play, but making sure that they can go out and punch teams with skill, and she doesn't have to be the savior as you say, but I don't know, they have a lot of midfield magic in there. Namely, I mean, I didn't mention Lavelle the maestro. Is it Lavelle, Shaw, and Kerr all combining on the stage with Esther in there, shoehorned in there somehow, or is it a rotational mix?
This is a super team, and I think super teams, I don't love it for Gotham. And I think that's because Gotham have won things traditionally off the backs of, yes, superstar players, their first championship coming off really the back of Ali Krieger and that factor and how they wanted to win it for Ali Krieger. But Gotham has never been the team where I've thought on every line there has been $1 million player. And I think that's because Gotham have really built a foundation there of tactic and of genuine system play that can mean that they can finish anywhere on the ladder and still be in a final by the end of it and win that final. And I think Sam Kerr demands a lot from the players around her, and I don't want the burden of Sam Kerr, which I think it is a burden. I think that, there's a player there who wants to score more goals and wants to have time on the pitch and may not always gel with those around her and may be a hindrance. As we've seen in the last 12 months, she can be very hot and she can be very cold. And I hope that there is no dumbing down really of the system. I hope that they are able to continue to build something with this Gotham team that has done it now twice in the matter of the 4 years that they've been since their inception.
I totally concur with the super team in the fact that, I mean, there's a lot of work to be had. And I mean, if you're actually looking at the lineup, if Amoros is going to put things together, there's got to be something special. And I mean, they do have the back line. There is no reason why they can't Cook, or should I say, in this case, Sophia Cook, their way to glory, especially being in 5th, which is arguably too high for Gotham in my head. They should never be 5th. They shouldn't be allowed. I still think Sam Kerr, again, the one thing I say about her, the only compliment I need, and when she retires, I'll say it again and again and again. I'm always happy to be that broken record. Wherever she goes, no matter how old, she comes in, she scores goals, she breaks records. And now is the time more than ever to finish off your career and keep breaking those records, because you had those records, because you were here before. Give everyone the reminder. It's genuinely, I am so excited when she has her first game, she scores her first goal, she wins the game for her, and I will do that. Jay-Z, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Sam Kerr. Like, honestly, she is that. She is going to do that. I'll remind everyone in the league. Chewinga, we've got like Chewinga, Matsukubo, Tanaka, all of the ballers that are coming in. Remember who was there before you, doing it before you, and that's where the respect comes from. And it's not like a Beth Mead thing where it's a role player. This is still Sam Kerr, who was 15 goal contributions in her last 16 games for Chelsea. So she is ready to go, and I'm excited about that. But we have the Lotta Rede, the chosen one. Barcelona chose you. A good player in her own right, a good player that is going to be an answer to not many questions I have about Barcelona, but ultimately this pseudo Barcelona exodus that's what we will talk about just very soon.
Strange.
We don't need that. Yeah, exactly. I think it's because Carla Julia is going to move further forward. I think they see the physical capabilities of her and her technical brilliance as something they can hone in on, especially someone who can learn off players like Esme Brutes, a player that I've told you I'm shilling as a Barcelona legend and is going to end up at Barcelona her entire life. And it was funny at the time, and we kind of did the NWSL movies there for her, but now we're just like, you know what? It is there. It is there for the taking if she wants to be the left back for the next decade. That is her. But Lotta Rede is Rede for Barcelona, I think, and they have the luxury to do this. I keep saying this about City. I like when my team does this and they decide that a 21-year-old is the one, and we choose you. When Barca chooses, they rarely get it wrong. So I mean, this is the thing. They are doing their due diligence. We haven't really talked about Lotta this season. We didn't talk a lot about Hamburg this season, bar a few games. She's played 22 games in the league. She's averaging very high stats. Namely, her game against Hoffenheim was probably her best moment of this season, where they packed them in 4-0 at home. And I actually remember that game because we were talking about the fact that Serchi couldn't get a sniff and they locked her out, and maybe that was the ability to break them down on that left side. And I think that even against the VFLs, even against the Bayerns, that she wasn't poor. She was actually quite excellent in a 3-3 draw against VFL in the first round of the Bunds. And I think that's where players like her need to players like her have the potential to be a part of something bigger, right? And I think that she got phased in later on in this season, and it was part of a natural process. And I think when Barcelona shoots, they don't miss with this kind of stuff. That's the thing that I like. 17 games
at 17 years old last season, 24-25. This is the opportunity for a team that has the accessibility to do it. And I think that if Barcelona can really cultivate this player and turn her into, one of the best left backs in the world, that's great, because they did it with Esme. But I also think that it's okay if she's not the best left back in the world. I think that it's fine. She becomes something of her own. And if Barcelona is a stepping stone to even greater things beyond Barcelona, I think that.
But it's a stepping stone for Barcelona to make money here. They take a $50,000 player from Hamburg, cultivate her. Everyone goes, oh my God, look at what she's doing in the Liga F. Bang, 300,000, 400,000. It's very easy. For a club that's financially bankrupt, it shouldn't be that hard for Barcelona women's side to be financially actually afloat, it's just because their men suck, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is not a hard model. Barcelona are in a league where they can actually make youngsters look incredibly good because their system is conducive to that. And, I mean, that's why Carla Julia should go for $8 billion because of how good she is. And also, I mean, Carla Julia's stocks are only going to go up this season because Salma is leaving. That is the big headline that we were waiting for at the end of contracts, extensions, rumours, and retirements. The biggest, the juiciest rumour is Salma Paruello is leaving, and her agent is shilling that $1 million player. She is a high impact player. And you know what? She is, because champion, she was probably at about 700, 800s, maybe 680. You could be lucky with that. But then she scored a brace in a final. And now I think she is the £1 million player, and she is the marquee that she is. And also, she's 23. Like, she is young. You can get her for however many seasons you want and turn this girl who has already finished third in a Ballon d'Or at 20 years old and turn her into a future Ballon d'Or winner, maybe. And the clubs that are after her are not teams that are unlikely to not have Ballon d'Or winners, that if I excuse the triple negative I just said. But Lyon, Chelsea, Arsenal, not LCL obviously, but LCL are in the mix for literally everyone. It doesn't really matter who.
I think
They're
I could put
always
myself
in
on the
mix.
market, and they would.
Yeah,
They would.
and they're after you. I mean, Soccer Donna links the Benchwarmers podcast to LCL 100%. Kang wants us to do what would Kang do from Bromley. That's what Kang would do, to be fair.
Yeah.
But we will get there when we get there. But Salma Paruello, where does she end up?
I think Salma has so much potential, but any team that capitulates to Salma's demands are foolish, 100% foolish, and ultimately giving into a player's outlandish demands. Because this is a great player. She's a fantastic player, but she is no different to what we have already in the teams that she is asking to go to, or the teams that are putting in bids. I think that she would fit in any of those teams. And look, I would be happy with Salma in my team, because in a left wing,
you should be.
In a left wing position, she could be great. But I also think, well, if we get the likes of a Searchy, and then we can just stick Olivia Smith on the left-hand side. But she's
better than Searchy, though.
Yeah, okay. But I think that, and I was the first one to say that Salma was having a great end of the season. And I think
she killed it. She shut a lot of people up. Yeah.
But I don't think that we have to start recognizing Salma as just Bit Park Stina Blackstenius. They have the same level of attributes. Salma is just faster. She's just faster. They have the same weaknesses in front of goal.
No.
This is important, because I think that if my team is in the mix for this player, I think it's important to say that Salma Paruello is a fantastic player, but she has weaknesses. She's not an £1 million player or €1 million player, because the players that are £1 million players are players that are better than Salma Paruello. She's putting herself on the market for a price that is either going to be for a club that she knows is particularly there only to serve the interests of themselves and the interests of the capitalistic market that is going to obviously propel these players up to millions and millions of pounds when they shouldn't be even close to millions of pounds. But more so, she's putting herself out there like she's the big game changer. Like, she's been doing it for 3 seasons at a consistent level. She had 1 really good season and then 5 really good games at the end of another season. In between that time, she has been underachieving in a very, very good team. Stick the 23-24, 24-25 season, Salma Paruello.
No, 24-25, I agree with you. That
was
her in any team, a low moment, yes.
And she doesn't do as well as she has been doing because the team around her doesn't facilitate her. She's so reliant on the players around her. She misses stinkers. She's horribly two-dimensional. And unless she actually adapts to the system that demands of her to do things outside of her comfort zone, she's not going to be worth £1 million. She should stay at Barcelona and really grow as a footballer and build from those last five games and actually build the foundations for what could potentially be, yes, an £1 million player. But not now.
But you're buying, so you're buying on, so this is the thing, like the number is based on potential. It's not based on ability now. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
Potential the last 5 games and a really good World Cup.
Okay,
right? Like,
so
what did she do during the Euros?
So you say bit part Stina Blackstenius. I'm gonna say someone else that we had a very similar conversation about, a player that was not at the same level of club, but at the time was a player we rated very highly, made a move to one of the 4 clubs that are currently in the realm of trying to get Salma Paralelo, a player that we justified and said that the numbers aren't there, a player that we said is a maverick, a player that we said has all the ability, or the whole world is at her feet if she gets the moment. And this season didn't go as planned for this player. And then at the end of the season, she turned up, she came in, she did the business, she knocked your team out of the Champions League, she knocked out the defending champions out of the Champions League, and that makes her worth it, right? It's not the best season for Eula Brand, correct? It's not the best season for her, but Salma Paralelo is the one I would compare her to is Eula Brand, is that her numbers can be way higher than Eula Brand's, and we both agree that the question will be, was 23-24 a fluke, or is that the level she's going to get back to, right? And there is a part of me that thinks that number was extortionately high, especially for a 20-year-old. Like, it does happen when you burst on the scene way too early, and my God, the things she was doing, I thought she was the best player in the world. I watched her in the Women's World Cup against the Dutch, and they were losing that game. They were not winning that game.
She did well as a super sub, but she was 20
but
years
she
old.
came in.
Like,
she came into the game. No, she came into that game and completely changed the narrative of that game against all odds, did things that she hasn't done since, by the way.
Yes,
there is not one moment that I've watched Salma Paralelo, even in that Champions League final, those goals are very Salma. They are very textbook Salma. The things she did in that game against the Dutch were things that I ascribe to Miedema and like prime Miedema, like the ability to weave in and out and whack and it's not that goal in the 115th minute where she took on 3
when the
players.
Dutch players are tired, she's against like a child.
But that's what
in the
she
Dutch
is.
defense.
She is a physical presence that has the ability to do match-winning things.
One every 25 games.
No. But I understand that the frequency isn't there. But
the consistency, the frequency. Eula Brand she's not made up for the move just because she had a good last couple Champions League games.
But you can improve upon that.
But her growth has been stunted by a year now. And I 100% believe that. And so as a result, if Salma goes, right, which again, leaving Barcelona is not for everybody. And I think that people forget leaving the security of the Barcelona system, the fact that she has so many players around her enabling her growth.
Very true.
You're going to be left on an island out there, especially if
we memed her. We memed her a lot. We said the Salma touch. We said the Salma of it all. And there are moments, especially in the last 10 to 12 games of this season, the crosses were accurate. The runs were intuitive. The strikes were generational.
The one all Bayern Barcelona game happens. Last minute of the game, she has the opportunity to win it for Barcelona, and she misses a sitter. So you can all this amazingness around her, and then you have that one moment that to me encapsulates what Salma Paralelo is.
But asking the question of is she a £1 million player strictly on ability? The answer is no. The answer is no.
I don't think on potential either.
You're not paying $1 million. No. But okay, I completely disagree. A player that is 23 years old, a player that's 23 years old that finished third in the Ballon d'Or when she was 20, is going to look at herself. Her agent is going to
committee who looked at the World Cup and went, "Oh my God, who are these players? Oh, okay, Salma."
But it wasn't just the World Cup, was it, Leggy? It wasn't just the World Cup.
Was Salma's breakout season.
She scored 20 goals in 19 games in the league. She scored 6 goals in the Champions League.
Spain. That's what I mean. Like, you can do it in Spain, and that's why I'm imploring her to stay at Barcelona.
France is no different. France is no different for Lyon. I'm sorry, it's not.
France is no different, but Eula Brand wasn't able to do it. Do you understand? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Eula Brand didn't ever have the numbers. That's the difference.
But Eula Brand had the same potential as Salma. I think Eula Brand has more potential than Salma. She's a better player. She's more mature.
I think it's night and day in the way in which players talk about them, specifically for club and country. I think Salma Paralelo is a player that is
Not
a
for
bit of an
country.
enigma in the Spanish model because she's so raw and not the
Unfed.
flamboyant, artisanal winger where we can go, oh, she'll just elevate every side she's in. Yes, you have to work with her. You don't think Geraldes, the genius tactical mastermind who,
He brought her into the front and stage. He was the one who.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, for me, I agree that for Chelsea, for Arsenal, it's a mistake. It would be an £1 million mistake. And you know what? Chelsea have made enough £1 million mistakes. Not yet, actually. I'm being a bit mean there because I don't actually think they're mistakes. I think Germa just needs to get less games against Bunny. And and you guys have Liv Smith, who I wouldn't call a £1 million mistake. And Alyssa Thompson is also not a £1 million mistake. But that being said, Alyssa Thompson's numbers also not spectacular by any realm or means for an £1 million player. I wouldn't call Alyssa Thompson a flop because it's more than just numbers. Can I see Alyssa Thompson and Salma Paralelo working together? Personally, no. I don't see that being a connection,
Yeah,
especially
but
because
Alyssa
Salma's so
Thompson-
much better on one side that is the same side as Alyssa.
Alyssa Thompson went from the NWSL, a harsh system, the US Women's National Team, a harsh system, to the WSL, a harsh system.
It's all
She
been
applied, like,
easy for Salma, is what
and
you're
it's
saying.
all been very, very easy for Salma. And without that padding around her, you will
But
see
Lyon
the
padding
rawness
is good, though.
exposed. It's
Yeah.
not good enough. It's not. She will not,
Interesting.
because the system also.
All right.
I don't think that the
of
system
those
for
4
Lyon.
clubs, who is she most likely to go to?
I think Lyon. I do. I think
Okay,
Lyon.
so when she goes to Lyon, we can do a Salma
Yeah.
hedge
You know
hedge
what I
fund
want?
of
I want-
over under. We could do an over under on Salma's GA next year
I
if
want
she goes
Salma
to
to
Lyon.
go to Lyon. I want Salma to go to Lyon, and then for her to be put ahead of Brand. Brand gets upset, and then midway through the season, Brand comes
Brand
to
turns
Arsenal.
on, yeah. Oh,
Then Brand comes
oh
to
my God,
Arsenal because-
you're still shilling your
Yes,
Brand.
yes.
No, how about you get what you actually want and you get Caroline Weir instead? But
wish.
yeah. But Caroline Weir is now at Lyon, so
Yeah.
Caroline Weir threading balls to Salma Paralelo is what El Clasico needed a long time ago, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
Caroline Weir has been confirmed. I mean, how many rumors, how many songs, how many Kangs did I have to do? Kangaline Weir is confirmed. The Kangaline is going to be rocking. We're going to be rocking the Kanga line. Maybe I should have got a Weir top when I mean that would have been the decision to get, but ultimately this is the Lindsay Heaps replacement. This is the killer. This is the banker. This is the one that never failed. She's oh my God, I cannot believe she's gone full Kang, and it makes sense, but I'm scared of how good we said she was top 5 when she was at the Liga F, and now she's in a team that could potentially win the lot year on year, and his goal is to win the lot every year. So Caroline Weir is about to get from perennial second to perennial trophies and success.
I mean, when has a move been less inevitable? Like this, I felt like this was written in the stars. I feel like
this is the one that never fails.
Yeah, this is the move that will send Caroline Weir's stocks.
How many hangmans did we have to do until
Exactly.
she
How many
was there?
times do you have to expose my horrendous hangman skills?
Yeah.
Because I think that this is the move that will get Caroline Weir in the conversations of top 5 midfielder in WOSO, and I think that Caroline Weir has seen this as a move to grow her own game, to grow the trophy cabinet, but to also stamp herself as a real contender, as one of the best midfielders in the world. And she is one of the best midfielders in the world. It's just the team around her really couldn't facilitate that, and she stood out. And I'd really like to see a Caroline Weir that isn't the highlight real Caroline Weir that we saw at Real Madrid, because really there was no one else in that midfield that could do what she did. But with Lyon, you have so many stars. It's like, I kind of like to think of her as like a better Agarola, someone who's working behind the scenes, doing the work.
She's no, but she's so much more. Like,
yeah, but someone
I love Damaris, but it's a different.
Okay, so the
ability,
Marajan
yeah.
then, like somebody who
Marajan, Marajan is a perfect example. This is that, but they've never fully replaced Marajan. Like, De Mornay is excellent, but this takes so much stress off the Melky of it all, and having a player like Weir is just. Oh, I'm jealous. I'm actually jealous. This is the first signing Lyon makes that I am jealous. What?
Is it Johannes, Weir, and Du Mornay in that midfield? Because that would be crazy.
Oh my God, that is terrifying. I mean, but I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks De Mornay will. I mean, they have to play Diani, so maybe you're right. But does that just mean Weir's gonna have more of like a sitting role and
I think she'll
like
be the
try and do
eight.
the dirty
I
work?
think she'll
But
be
I guess
a
they don't
double
have
eight
to do much dirty
situation.
work. I wonder that midfield gets beaten by us. That midfield gets beaten
what
by
I mean.
you.
Yeah,
Like
I think
it's
so.
not defensive enough. That's where Egarol. Like in my head, it's actually it's Egarola, Johannes, and Weir as a three, yeah, and then De Mornay roams from one side. So let's say Chewinga's not playing. Let's say Chewinga comes off the bench. You have De Mornay on the left, and she drifts central. If Diani's injured and not playing, you have De Mornay on the right. She drifts central. Chewinga on the left, and Mac in the 10 or Ada in the 10 or whatever that. Or Ada in the 9. Like whatever they actually need. But that is
There's so
the
much
dream.
time for them
Geraldes
to
is
get a
just
hold of
Geraldes is just unfair. Like it is just ridiculous how many combinations they can do. Like Yeglerts could only dream of this many combinations. Am I right? But that is all we have. We have no retirements to my knowledge, at least. Are we waiting for anyone to retire? Oh, we are waiting for someone to
couple.
retire. Go on. Go on. Hit me with one.
I mean, I just look. I think that retirement is also going to the dub, and I think Mini Gore is probably going to go to Brisbane. So that's basically pseudo retirement.
Retirement is just people who move to the A League now.
Yeah,
That's so cruel. We are all done with the CERRs. We are going to move to a quick, rapid segment. We're going to do what we're going to call the Fast Five of the World Cup. Obviously, yes, if you're here, we're 2.5 hours in to this episode 41. Yes, we have to mention it. Leggy's background shows it. The Men's World Cup is on. It is the biggest thing going on. It has got it going on. I mean, strip away all the exploitation and horrendousness and Infantino and everything, and all the
Kang.
crap.
So
No
sad.
Kang.
No
Where
Kang.
is Kang World
Where is
Cup?
Kang in
Where
one
is
of those
I would
boxes?
sing it again. I would sing it all again. Wakang, wakang. But the World Cup is cooking, and you know what? Women's football is adapting to that, the fact that men's football is cooking as well, because there are women involved in this World Cup that are absolutely doing amazing things, and I think that they need to be mentioned. I mean, the first one I want to talk about specifically, namely, is probably one of the biggest names in football in Emma Hayes, doing work on ITV, absolutely chefing up a storm, getting the credits that she already has in the women's game, but from the men specifically, like, I mean, everyone was talking about the Cape Verde game and her breakdown of the transitional, the following of the fullbacks, and why Spain were having so much trouble in breaking down the Cape Verde defense, and she made it so easy for everyone to understand, and she put it all together, and she had her chalk out like she was Miss Hayes, and like she was doing her like year 3 classroom, welcome to football. This is football, by the way.
Football 101.
Yeah, Football 101 with Emma Hayes, which I reckon is her future beyond management if she ever
Honorary
stops
professor.
managing. Yeah, she'll just be a professor of football. And the way she was talking was like, this is this, and this moves here. And it was just, you know what? It was elegant. It was nice. It wasn't trying to be more than it is. But I actually thought the highlight was when she was speaking with Ange Postecoglou and Juan Mata, and that was just fantastic. And the questions she was asking Juan Mata, especially talking about like the cultural element, the thing I talk about all the time. I love that Emma Hayes talks about it as well. But the cultural element of teams bonding with each other from youth, and like why England looks so clunky. This is the first time they don't look that clunky, but that importance of playing together in youth teams so much more than other countries do, and that's how their models gel into the fact that Spain looks so like perfectly technically like cohesive with each other. But I just think Emma Hayes, I mean, like a person that we take the piss out of, in the sense of like, I mean, she is a meme. She takes the piss out of herself, and I love that about her, but also is collectively garnering even more respect than she already has.
I like to think that when Emma Hayes was talking to Ange Postecoglou and Juan Mata, that we were secretly doing a backroom deal about her getting her to Melbourne victory. Like, that's all I really thought about.
Emma Hayes to victory.
Victory
Women's or men's or both?
Both. I hope she
Both
coaches
at the same
of them.
time.
both at the same time. Hopefully, like a combined 11 of both teams, where we just have like Rianne Policina and then like just the scraps of the men's teams. But no, I think she's an exceptional advocate for the women's game, but also just like for the men's game. I think one of the most successful English coaches. And rightfully so, I think that you can see, and it was on full display why she's so technically and so exceptional as a role as a manager.
Yeah, the best of the best, and then in realms and respect to the best of the best in Australia in terms of leadership from the back. Lydia Williams doing an amazing job in her role. Specifically, I think she can talk about outfield, and sometimes it is good, but it's not as good as when she talks about goalkeeping. Yeah. And I love goalkeeper pundits. Shout out to Joe Hart, Mr. Posture himself, but. Lyds was doing an amazing job. I was watching the Green Falcons game. That was a spectacular talking about the corners and the way in which you set up your goalkeeping line. And I just think our WOSO pundits are absolutely chefing up a storm this tournament. I wanted to mention Tori Penzo, Brooke Mayo, Catherine Nesbitt, the all-female led all-American referee crew that refereed the Czech Republic South Africa game and cooked with the penalty as well. Got everything right. I've been screaming at refs all tournament. I did not scream once in that game. Just saying. We are chefing up a storm. WOSO has. I mean, I don't know. I feel like WOSO, bar the lack of VAR and also like the lack of the desire for it. I still think things have gone wrong in this one where there is VAR and that's part of it as well. But I'm happy with referees making the decisions on those respective calls and doing the right things by them. And I mean, when it's the first time for all women, all led, and it's nearly 100 years since the first World Cup, it's just depressing. But it's also a big step forward, and it's the first of many, and I think that that's exciting.
I mean, the professionalisation of female referees is just as important as the professionalisation of women's players. And I think that if we're looking at them side by side, I think women's football has exponentially grown in the last 5 years in the rapid professionalisation, but women's referees are still lacking. And I think that that's one to do with the PR and the marketability of being a referee, but also because those opportunities are so lacking, and we see referees from the same countries a lot of the time, and we don't see that diversity. And I think that to represent yourself and to represent your country at a World Cup as a referee, as a female referee, is so inspiring to so many people watching, particularly kids who probably I've never seen a female referee before because I don't watch women's football, and then you see them at the men's game, and it creates equilibrium. Yeah.
If Spain don't make the final, I expect Paula Cebollada Lopez refereeing. My goat who's handed out more cards in one game than every game at the World Cup so far. To be fair, that first ref in the first game, they gave away, 3 reds? I mean, I don't think any of them were reds. I think that was horrendous refereeing in that game. But you know what? He did him. But another one that we're going to talk about is some mother-son duos and some brother-sister duos. We're going to talk first about the mother-son duo that is Jenny Bindon and Tyler Bindon. Tyler Bindon came off the bench in the first group stage game for New Zealand. Jenny Bindon, WOSO legend, goalkeeper during the 2007 and 11 Women's World Cups for New Zealand, and was in the Olympic Games for Beijing and London. So, I mean, look, there is WOSO legacy in and around it, and this is probably the right generation for it, right? Because that's that peak WOSO era driving up through, and then having children and building into this generation now.
I think probably the next generation is going to be more exceptional.
It's going to happen. Yeah, mate. Wait for Alex Puteas.
Jesus. I mean, not coming. To put the pressure. We already hate the she's a baller.
Oh yeah. No. I know. It is horrendous. It is the worst thing. But it is. But it's when it's intentional, it's not horrible because he wasn't in it.
I don't care if Jagger is a footballer or not. I just want to know what his allegiance is. I want that kid to
yeah, exactly.
consciousness
Who
in
does
the
he go
next 3
for?
weeks.
Does he bleed blue?
I want to, like, you know what they should have done? You know how in like World Cup finals, like any final, they get like a dog or a pet or something or an animal to kind of like, you know, walk to the team that is believed to be the prediction of the winning. I think Jagger should have done that for the Australia-US game. He should have walked to either scarf, like an Australian scarf or a US scarf, and then we would have found out where the kid's true allegiance is. That should have happened.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the errors will just happen more, regardless of our hatred for it. We don't have to push it on them, but it will happen. And like, I don't know, it's the Reece Lauren James of it all. This is the first time Reece James has been at England. I mean, namely through injury. It's not about ability, because the James siblings are just that good in England, and I think it's really exciting to see them both dominating in England, PR merchants in England, both of them just universally not necessarily loved but respected in that way. I think obviously England Arsenal fans will be like, Lauren James, we hate you when you are in blue, but when you are in white, you are Lauren James. And you are doing it for country. And there are times when I expect Reece James, especially with Tuchel, to be a huge part of their success if they garner success. If football comes home for the men, football hasn't come home for the women just yet. Like, yes, the Euros is huge and back-to-back Euros is crazy, but the illustrious World Cup is there for the taking in next year in Brazil. Serena, it would be the perfect capping to the best international manager for her to bring football home once and for all. And by God, she was close last time. So it's not like there's definitely going to be scores to settle. And that is exciting to see the duos on display. But is there anything else you wanted to mention tournament-wise? Anything you're thinking about?
We've seen some WOSO greats show up in the boxes.
Oh, yeah. Alex Morgan today. Alex Morgan was today. Yeah,
I saw
that was
Jill
crazy.
Ellis sitting next to her, which I think if you know the law is incredibly controversial.
Go on. Tell it out.
I'm not going to go through the whole San Diego Wave law. Just search up San Diego Wave 2024 or 2025.
All right,
just
fair
search
enough.
up that era, and also just search up Jill Ellis. She's a very interesting figure.
And then Trinity Rodman.
Trinity Rodman and that fuck-ass Bob. I have no idea where that came from, but she walked out on the pitch. Good for her. She was slaying. Like, everything was going great. And then I looked at her hair. I was like, whoa. I mean, look, we've had some crazy Trinity Rodman hair
was it a
eras.
yuck or a yas?
Yeah, it was a hashtag. I'm going to go, like, maybe hashtag yuck, but hashtag yas if she rocks it, like, in football-wise. I don't know. I feel like I can't really,
I don't think that's football.
demean somebody's hair.
I think it's going back. I think it's going back.
See, I like that. But you know me, because I like short hair.
I'm all for pink braids Rodman personally.
That's true,
I
that
think
era,
that's
yeah.
Kang. That's Kang Rodman in my head. Yeah. That's the GOAT Rodman in my not so humble opinion when it comes to the Holy Trinity Rodman. But there is WOSO greats all around the grounds doing bits, and I mean we could talk more and more about it, and we will talk more and more about it week in, week out. But that is all we have for WOSO in Menso, a World Cup edition. As we move into not the Benchwarmers Awards, there was no football this week, no super subs of the week. Do we have any come on the pods? Popovic, you know what? Yeah, super sub of the week, Nestori for not scoring off the bench. Come on the pod is Big Popper, definitely Big Popper. He can let us know what he thinks of. What does he think of Salma Paruello? I would love to know that. That's what I would want to know. Would he start Salma? That is the real question.
No.
But we don't have Benchwarmers this week, but we always have time for one more segment. The What Would Kang Do 41. Leggy waiting for next week for that rhyming one. I know she's waiting so badly. But this week we're going to be talking about, I mean it's kind of perfect that we finished talking about the World Cup, because it has to be about the PR of this tournament, right? Okay. So, like, look, Leggy, I know you're not an ancient human being, but you've been around for enough tournaments to know that this tournament, from a marketing perspective, not necessarily like an ethical perspective, but like from a marketing perspective, it is cooking in a way that is almost. Bottles. Yeah,
have
see,
the
you know what I
Coke
mean?
FIFA Coke
The
bottles.
Coke bottle, the Lego, the merchandise, everything that's going on. This World Cup is Stacey's mum. Like, it is just absolutely cooking in ways that I can't even imagine. Like, it's being treated like the Olympics. People who don't like football are watching football, and that is great, right? It's almost clandestine that we should be talking about. The big one that I've been seeing is the one that we've been using a lot, which has inspired this Kang, is the emoji game. Literally this World Cup, Trionda emojis and
crazy.
I don't know, we're on CapCut and we're editing a lot and there's football transitions and football effects and there's like football tabs and I'm like, wow, this World Cup, Infantino is a genius. Infantino has used CapCut. Infantino is using WhatsApp. I don't know how. I assume he just used like bald telekinesis to communicate with his subjects. But basically, I thought that the topic of this, Kang, is Kang emojis. Okay, we're just thinking about like Holy Trinity needs Kang emojis. If we're gonna market Michelle Kang, and like obviously I've spent some time developing thoughts and feelings, but what I felt like would be the most Kang is that we'd start using some. We're going to talk about what we think Kang emojis should be, and we're going to use Genmoji in the process to develop the emojis we're thinking of, right? So, I haven't put any down, but we're going to think of, let's go with 5. Let's think of 5 emojis that work, that make up for the fact that this Trionda emoji is there, all these effects are going on, what do we think should be happening?
I mean, I think we should go the hair first, right?
The hair. So
iconic.
Obviously there are hair emojis, but we need the wig. We need the actual sunglasses. Yeah, we need the actual sunglasses. So that's 2. No question about it. So the aesthetic is there of Kang. But now we have to delve in, right? So yes, we have a lion emoji, but the lion isn't correct, right? The lion needs to be either the Leon lion or the lioness lion. Yeah. Like you could turn their badges, you could turn the 3 badges into emojis, but I think it's more interesting to go after like a more something that Kang would use. What is an emoji that Kang would use if we made it into one? You know what I mean?
Ooh, probably the money flying.
The flying money, but do you think it should be flying? Do you think we should could we reinvent an emoji?
I feel like it's
Kang?
So we have but it's like her face, and then behind her face, behind her in the background is just flying money.
Okay, what about the flying money? But then the print on it is Kang. It is the Kang monies.
Okay.
So maybe that's it. So it's a flying Kang monies.
I'm thinking more memoji here. You know those memojis where you get to you get to interact with them. They can
the memo. So a memoji Kang where she's like, "You're doing great."
Yes.
You just got loaned. I was thinking of a loan emoji. Like, how would you do a loan? And it's you have a paper and a pen, but you need more than that. You need an actual loan emoji. I think a Genmoji where Kang is you just got loaned is kind of the vibe.
See
what
you
about
soon, maybe.
Well, okay, so here's my next one is instead of having 4 trophy emojis for quadruple, I feel like we need a quadruple emoji, right? How do we do we just do 4 trophies coming out of Kang's hands like that? Like holding, or it could be a photo of Kang's hands or the world with sunglasses on it and the wig. Yeah. So maybe we have it all combined and then that's just Michelle. What would Kang do? She owns the world. Yeah. Or a soccer ball, just a soccer ball with the glasses and the wig. But I mean, the whole point is that we've tried to come up with 5 and we've come up with about 20. And the reason is because Kang, this is to you. The opportunities are endless. This is did I say endless? I meant endla. But just do it. The spine is there. You have every player. Mary Earps bench emoji. There are glove emoji. Just every single possible option. Kang Institute emoji. I want AI building emoji here. There are
we have
a
washed emoji. You can use
a washed emoji. Yeah, exactly. We will be there for all the emojis, all the PR, all the marketing. fascinating, especially in this build up to 2027. If she's not at World Cup 2027, what is the point? Why am I even going?
Trophy, Ben.
Yeah, she's definitely I expect Hunger Games spin, and instead of a Mockingjay, it's a lioness. My goat, Kang, Michelle, Yong Mi is Yong Memojis. That's what it is. Yong Mi emojis. That is what this Kang will be called. And that is all we have for What Would Kang Do? And that is all we have for the podcast this week. We are on Spotify and YouTube for all your full audio visual podcasts. We are on Instagram for all your announcements, and we are on TikTok serving up short form content for you week on week. Even when there's no domestic, even when there's no international, there is stuff for us to talk about. And the reason is because we love WOSO. We love talking about every facet of it. Even when it's inside Menso, it's Menso WOSOception right there. We are doing it all. We're covering it all because it's always on, and it's not just covering it every second or every minute or every hour or every day. It's every week. Every week. Thank you all so much for listening. Keep warming those benches and have a great week.